Hey guys, welcome to my Feral PvP guide, and what I'm hoping you're going to get from this guide is an understanding of how to play Feral, how to start gearing your Feral Druid, what talents to run, what gear to get, the damage rotation that you're going to use, the different specs and PvP talents that you're going to use against certain compositions, and also what comps you are going to run. Very similar style to my Restoration Druid guide. However, I just want to point out I am not the best feral. I do feel like I'm good enough to share tips and tricks that I've kind of learnt though over the past couple of weeks playing, and hopefully people can take away these comments or even add to it in the comment section below, as I'm always open to improving and sharing ideas about any given class. So without further hesitation, let's get right into the video. So, first of all, let's cover gear. Let's just go somewhere where we actually can't hear a warlock spamming. So, if we come into this bit and we look at gear, first of all, you can see predominantly we're going for agility again. It's really similar. So if you think of a sub-rogue, think of a Feral Druid. The difference is that we are not playing, this guide isn't going to cover the Convoke side of it. We're going to cover the Bleed and Cleave type builds, as this is the most consistent damage. Convoke is very situational, and I've not played enough with it to be able to give you a full guide. So what we're going to go for in this guide is, as you can see, we're going to go for Mastery and Versatility as our two top stats. Obviously you want to get speed enchants on items. The faster we are, the better we're going to be, and with our mobility it really helps. So just running through my gear, you can see how I've gemmed everything for to kind of buff up my haste a little bit, because this obviously increases attack speed and the speed in which your dots go. I'm also running the 2 sets, not the 4 sets, as Shadows of the Predator application is not worth it. So just run the 2 set, and then you want to get other pieces that stack up your mastery. Again, enchants, all the similar ones that we have for kind of a sub-rogue. So you've got the speed, you've got the accelerated agility on the chest. You can see I've gone for the scale, Warden's leather wraps. You can go for crafted pieces on these. That was the word I was looking for. So you can go for crafted pieces. I would obviously opt for versatility and mastery on both these pieces. So you can see here I've got this, and I've gemmed them both for any sort of mastery haste, mastery versa, predominantly mastery being the main one. You can see I've got the crafted ring. Now just to show you guys, you can opt to go for the 2 crafted rings. I will explain why I haven't done in a second. So you can see you do get more haste, you do get more mastery from that. The reason I haven't done that is purely for the versatility. Now, as druids, we're very, very squishy. Even in bear form now, it feels like we take so much damage. It's actually unreal. So if you're maybe going into, I don't know, caster cleave, or you know, one where you're not going to be the focus target, you could opt to run both these rings. However, most of the time I do play with the increased burst and the decreased haste. So when I'm in PvP, you can see that goes up to 40, and in cat form I think this goes down to 30. I think that goes up to like 37, 38%. But again, it depends if you are running the Rising Light talent. So I honestly think that covers most of the gear. Weapon choice, obviously you're going to go for the spear. We can't use swords as druids. Again, this adds the versatility. Sophic Devotion is the best enchant. The new Shadow one doesn't work anymore, to my knowledge. Yeah, and regarding trinkets, you want to go for this one. It's just really nice when it does proc, because obviously our Primus does mastery, so it adds to the damage. you want to greatly improve your mastery. So anything that's going to give you mastery is going to give you more damage on your bleed. So this is really, really big, and this is just what I tend to opt for. Now you can see on the legs, this is because I play Resto as well. I've got an intellect enchant. Really doesn't matter. It's not going to make a difference in the long end of things, but this is a gear I run. I feel it's pretty good. I don't feel too squishy, in all honesty, but yeah, Druids are very squishy, and it's all about negating that damage and using that Encarn window and using your stuns and clones appropriately to switch between classes. So what I'm now going to go over is the build. So what builds I have. So I have 3 builds. I'm going to start with the single target first, just to be clear what you need to play, what you need to do. So I'm not going to go over every build point, but I just want you to see predominantly what we're going for here. So this build would be a great build to use if you are focusing a single target. So if you're against a warlock, a boomy, a mage, you need to chase them down and you just need to stick on them, keep up the uptime of the damage. You can see we've got the speed here. You can see we're going for main. Obviously we're always going to go main, but you can also see we're a little bit tanky as well. And what this build allows us to do is it gives us survivability, as well as having that movement speed that we need to keep up the uptime on the target, and this is really good. Now what you want to do, because we're playing Cyclone, is you absolutely have to have Wild Attunement. Every clone you do gives you a Feral Frenzy if you do a Ferocious Bite, Rip, or Maim. This is huge, and this will make the kill windows almost every single maim you have. If you line it up with a clone, wow, you know, the potential for you to kill the enemy is insane. In terms of what PvP targets to run with this build, honestly, if you're against a caster Cleave, you're playing freeze, High Winds would be my go-to, or Leader of the Pack is another nice one. King of the Jungle can be really nice if you're cleaving to help your healer and both to help your movement speed, but I would generally opt for these two or this one. Ferocious Bite, which does reduce the target's health up to 10%. That's actually quite big. So you've got a target with 600k health. That's 60k health. That is considerable, really. However, I don't tend to play that, and I tend to just stick with these two. And if I'm going into like a warrior melee cleave, the chance I'll be playing a cleave build, and I will be running fawns. So let's just go over the rotation for this one, just so we can kind of keep it clear. So the rotations are really, really similar, and I'm going to do this really slow, and it's not going to be the perfect rotation. There may be other optimal ways to spend your energy, but with this build, we have something called Blood Talons. Now, Blood Talons basically, as you can see there, the damage of your next 3 rips or ferocious bites is increased by 25% of their full duration. So this is huge, really, because this basically is going to do more damage, more overtime effects, and this is really, as a druid, what we want, what we are about. And you can see, you know, we're playing Wicked Claws as well for that reduced healing, which is kind of like a Mortal Strike ability. So what we're going to do, you're going to start in stealth, you're going to proc Tiger's Fury, and then you're going to go into a Rake, and then you're going to Incarn, and then you're going to Feral Frenzy. Now the reason we Incarn is, if you look at this, an improved cap from that grants all of your non-berserk effects. So the berserk effects, if we go down here, for an additional 100% of their damage. So all of your bleed abilities do 100% of the damage. So that is actually insane. And we also Heart the Lion. Each combo point reduces by 0.5 seconds. So we want to proc Tiger's Fury, because that's going to increase the damage of all your attacks. And this is going to increase all bleed effects by up to 100. And it's going to give us some insane combo point regeneration. And then we also want to proc BT, which is Blood Talons, and we do this by using 3 different type of attacks, damage over time attacks. So what I do, I'm going to open up Tiger's Fury, Rake into Incarnation, into Feral Frenzy, and then you just want to start putting your other bleeds on, and then when you've got all the other bleeds on, you're then gonna, you're literally just gonna spam Rake, spam Thread, and then you just want to get the max combo points up. You want to make sure you're keeping all of your bleeds on, so we want to reapply Thrash, reapply Rake, keep up Rip. You only want to use Brutal Slash when you've got all your bleeds up, because that adds insane damage to the bleeds. So just to go over the rotation one more time, so you're going to go Stealth, you're going to Rake, you're going to Stealth, Tiger's Fury, Rake, Incan, Feral Frenzy, Rip, okay, and then you're gonna Adaptive Swarm, Moonfire, then Adaptive Swarm, and then you can Thrash, or you can Thrash before that and then put Adaptive Swarm on the end. Probably best that you put Adaptive Swarm on after all the other bleeds, so just to show you, and then we can Incan, then you can Feral Frenzy, Thrash, Moonfire, and then Adaptive Swarm, and then again you're just gonna be shredding with Incan. You are just going to be shredding, and then you may have a target, so you can then maim them, you can then clone them, and then what you will see is we have that effect, and then if you do that, you can see Feral Frenzy has been put back on the target, and that is literally the primary way to keep up the damage. Get all your bleeds on Adaptive Swarm to make them longer. Check what's not on. So if you need to reapply Moonfire, if you need to reapply Thrash. Some people don't play with Thrash. Thrash is really good, and the damage does down, but your main bleeds do want to be your Rake and your Rip, as these are huge damage abilities. And then you want to focus your other target, maim the kill target, really clone the other target if you can, that's absolutely fine, and then you're just gonna go for it, and again you can see these little things. So when I use 3 different attacks, we proc BT, we want to try and use BT, because really this is like an Adaptive Swarm when you look at it. Increases the effectiveness of your periodic effects. So not an Adaptive Swarm, but it basically it deals 25% extra damage. Yeah, so 25% extra damage for their full duration, not 25% extra duration. That's what I think Circle of Life or something down here does that. Yeah, so that basically reduces the time. So sorry, I kind of got that wrong, but just switch it up. Is it increases the damage that we do over time. So when we get BT and we get Adaptive Swarm on full bleeds, we're going to do insane damage. I'm just going to go for the rotation one more time so you can all see just how much we can actually put out. So that, and then you're going to Rake, then you're going to Incan, and then we're going to get all the bleeds up, all the bleeds up, all the bleeds up, and then we're just literally going to spam Bite. And then next go, let's maim the target, I don't know, and then we're going to put that on. Keep everything up, keep everything up. So really, we're going to achieve probably near enough 100k. Keep the bleeds up, Moonfire up, keep the Thrash up. Yeah, so really, if you're doing this rotation correctly, you're going to get anywhere between 90 and 100k, 100k damage, and that is pretty much it for the single target build. That's all you really need to know in terms of your damage rotation. I strongly recommend you practice on dummies. You have a focus target for both your bash, clone, and your maim. This really helps. I will show some macros towards the end of the video. You don't need to overcomplicate things and have focus macros for everything. Just focus macros for your CC abilities are the main ones. So you're looking at Cyclone, Roots, maim, and bash. And honestly, you play with them, you're going to be doing pretty well, just to begin with. So, if I now show you guys the Cleave with clone, because I feel the Cleave with no clone, there's a couple of spells that are different, and we run kind of pretty much the same thing. So just so you can see for this build, what I tend to do is I tend to use this King of the Jungle. Now this build is predominantly based around doing lots of clone and doing lots of spread pressure. The rotation is really similar to what we've previously done. So we're gonna open up with Tiger's Fury, Rake, and then you're going to Incan, Feral Frenzy. That's going to get you max points. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to ensure that you have Rip, Feral Frenzy, and Primal Wrath on all of them. And then when you've got all your bleeds up, you're going to be spamming Brutal Slash, replacing any bleeds that you don't have. Checking Rake is on both the targets. You can rake more than one target, by the way, as we're playing the AoE Rake. Whenever you get an Apex bite proc, you're going to use it. Don't waste the points on the bites. Only bite when you get the Apex proc, because you're going to need the points for the maim stuns, to reapply your bleeds, and just really to keep the maximum amount of damage going. When you've got full damage on 3 targets, honestly, I'm probably going to say the damage you're going to do is probably anywhere from 150 to 200k. Let's just quickly do it again. But this is 5 targets. You're only ever going to do 3 in arena. So let's just go over it one more time. So Dirt, Feral Frenzy, into the Primal Wrath, into the Slash, into the bite, reapply Rake on different target, into the bite again, and then all you're going to do is just switch between Brutal Slash, making sure all your dots are on, so reapplying anything that's not there. So we can see Primal Wrath's falling off, we can see Rake's falling off a few targets, and you're literally just going to do that. You can throw in a maim, but honestly, while your in-cam window is up, the damage is just absolutely brutal. Like, it's really something else. And you can see there, like with a half staff attempt, we're getting towards some really big damage, and that's pretty much how we do it. Again, you're gonna focus the entangle. So if you've got a warrior after you, keep that warrior on focus and just spam every time this goes up, spam entangling roots. I will share these macros for blood talons and everything else, but honestly, this is how you play the Cleave with clone. Yeah, this is how you play the Cleave with clone. When you're playing without clone, it's a little bit different, because we're not gonna play that clone build. We're not gonna, have that every time you clone, you're going to get the Feral Frenzy. What we're doing here, the difference is we're not playing with Sudden Ambush, we're playing with Feral Ferocity, so we want to proc as many bites as possible, as this will do an awful lot. So if we've got 5 combo points and the bite crits, I don't know, 50k, you're going to be doing 25 to 40k on all the enemies, which is huge, which is really good. So you will see in a sec, I'll show you the rotation with Incan here, and you will see the damage is actually more, because we do have them we do have them bite procs. So if I just go stealth here, and show you this, and then Primal Wrath, get that up, get the Rake up, get Rakes on different targets, and then we're going to Brutal Slash, got an Apex proc there, and then just going to spend a bite because we are still in Incan. Put them all on again, ensure all the bleeds are up, kind of mess this rotation up a bit, but you know, that is absolutely fine. And you just want to ensure that your rakes are going on as many people as you can. If I'd have done that properly and I'd have kept my rakes on there, you'd have seen you easily get 200, 250k. I've done it tons and tons of times. But the idea being is a rotation is exactly the same. You're just keeping your bleeds up, and all you want to do is focus on the uptime of bleeds. I promise you, if you do the damage like this and you keep up the bleeds, you maim the kill target, bash the off target for your other guy to CC, and you just focus on damage, you're going to be honestly putting on immense pressure. Try and always keep the bleeds on the healer too, particularly if it's an evoker, if it's a priest, or druids too. Druids really struggle to heal bleeds. Trust me, I can tell you, I've got 2.1k in 2s as a resto this season. But honestly, guys, that is pretty much all there is to playing and starting a druid. It's not overly complicated like many people think. It's just ensuring that we use Tiger's Fury every 30 seconds because this is enormous. You utilize your combo point spending and you don't spam bites when you're not in Incarn, and you're ensuring that your points are spent on either using maims, keeping the bleeds up to the absolute max, and then just CC where you can. And obviously, you know, like I said, just to give you an idea on macros and what I'm kind of using. So I kind of have so I have this macro which cancels cat form in and out. I have focus clone. If I can, maybe I need to show you some here. Yeah, so I have focus clone, focus roots. I have a wild charge into a bash, which is quite nice. That's on shift X, but you've got to make sure your charge is on cooldown. I have a focus kick as well. That's another good one for you to have, but it depends if that person's in focus. And focus maim. I've also got this one, which honestly I've never actually known it to work. But try these guys. They are listed on my Discord too, so please be sure to check out the Discord. Hopefully it really helps. Finally, I think what comps to say. So from what I know, in 2s, the best comp you could play is Holy Priest and Druid. It's just insane. Even Disc Priest Druid is really good. Your bleeds, the pressure, the kiting, your survivability, really good. And that's both Convoke that I've seen Snoopy play and the bleed spec. You would predominantly nearly always play single target small cleave build, just because you sometimes want to kite away with Moonfire, kite at a distance, get those combo points, run in, maim, get all the bleeds on, run out, and just kite, and that's kind of gonna be that playstyle. What this guide is, it's not to tell you how you always need to play Feral and how to play against every situation and when to bear and when to not. I want to cover the rotation, what stats you need, and what you should play when. So final thoughts I'm going to leave you with is you need to play the single target build when you are focusing one single target. If you're against double casters and it's a small map, it's fine to go the Cleave build, but generally against casters, big map, you want to go single target build. You want to be working those clones, you want to be getting the Feral Frenzies into the main, keeping the uptime of the bleeds, and just focusing the damage. You want to be bare forming big CDs, big goes. You want to be watching the DRs if you're against a rogue and they're going to jump into kidney you. You want to be trying to pre-bear that. It is hard, but when you watch it and you get used to it, it's good. And the Cleave builds, you want to run it on the small map if you're against a double melee, or for example, I tend to run Cleave builds if you go against a caster and the warrior you're going to be the kill target and the warrior's on you, you can get free Cleave damage. You might as well run Cleave with clone. I tend to play Cleave with clone probably 70% of the time in solo shuffle, because you do get that caster melee, the melee teams, but I switch it up all the time. But hopefully this gives you guys enough to start playing Feral, so you know what to do. Good comps in freeze as well, before I forget. The best one would be where you have like a caster or range. So obviously there's jungle. Fire Mage is really good. Fire Mage with Holy Power, Holy Priest. Warlock or with a Shadow Priest are both really good comps to use in freeze at the moment. Anything that's range really, or an Augmentation Evoker, the damage can be super good. But yeah, Druid is just in a really good place right now. We are very squishy, but when you can work around that and you can figure out how you can survive, how you can reduce the overall damage output on your team, you've got a lot of utility to work with. It's a really great class. Anyway, I hope this guide is helpful. Thanks for watching, everybody, and please do head over to Twitch and show me your support if this guide is helpful. Peace out, everybody.